telling you I won't give it up. No, no, no. So don't even try. People lie. All they do is dance between the lines. They won't change. Fake gold chains, the shades to hide those eyes. I can't complain, it's just a I'm telling you. You always, I remember when I first met you, I knew just what to do. I had to get to know you right through the darkness. You're my light, you're always on my mind. I've been waiting so long for you. I wrote this song, girl. You don't know what you've got until your world has gone. This is why our love is strong. And girl, you got me singing with some melody. You're always on my mind. This is what you do to me. Girl, you got me singing with some harmony. Forever you're my queen, and baby girl, I'm your king. not afraid, afraid to say the words, even if my brother's hurt, because of what you made and what you mean to me. You have given everything, you would change my life more than you ever know. This is why I have to show, girl, that you are everything and everything to me. Baby girl, I hope you'll say, girl, you got me singing with some melody. You're always on my mind, this is what you do to me. Girl, you got me singing with some harmony. Forever you're my queen, and baby girl, I'm your king. You're always on my mind, girl. Oh, don't you know that you're always on my mind, girl. Yeah, yo, you're always on my mind, girl. Don't you know that you're always on my mind, girl. Yeah.
Oh, 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 oh. I've been roaming around, I was looking down at all I see. Painted faces fill the places I can't reach. You know that I could use somebody, yeah. You know that I could use somebody, yeah. Someone like you, and all you know and how you speak. Countless lovers undercover of the street. I know that I could use somebody, yeah. You know that I could use somebody, yeah. Someone like you, oh, 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 oh. Someone like you, oh, oh, oh. Off in the night while you live it up, I'm off to sleep, waging wars to shake the poets and the street, yeah. I hope it's gonna make you notice, hey, hey, yeah. I hope it's gonna make you notice, yeah. Someone like me, oh, oh, oh. Someone like me, oh, oh, oh. I'm ready now, 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 I'm ready now. Oh, 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 oh. Someone like you. You know that I could use somebody. You know that I could use somebody, yeah. Oh, oh. I've been roaming around, I was looking down at all I see.
My name's Lynda, this is Nico, and He's 6 months today. My biggest hope is I hope that he's healthy and happy, and I'd like him to contribute to society in a good way. His father and me a little bit have dreams of him being an All Black, so I'm not sure if there's any IVF All Blacks out there, but it's just it's everything. Like I sort of stalk him at night and go and watch him sleep, and you sort of, have a smile in the morning when he wakes up and he has a big smile at your face, and, go and talk to them. Fertility associates are amazing. And you talk to other people. I think once you open up, you'll find that there may be people that that you didn't realise that had gone through fertility. It might not have been successful for them, but they've got experiences that they can share with you, and I think you get a lot from that. I'm gonna cry now. They were amazing. They were so open with us and so honest, right down to our receptionist. She knew our name, and we've taken him back to meet them, and they were just over the moon that, we were able to do this as a team. I never felt uncomfortable or shy or anything like that. They were just very professional as well. Always felt like they were doing all they could to help us. But yeah, it was amazing. Thank you so much. It's hard to imagine what it was like before him. It was so hard to, now we have him. I do.
Took me in her arms and made me believe you could be anything. That's what she said to me. I know you just want what is best for me. I should be loved, I should be free. But mama, each and every time they've been trying to find a reason to doubt me. And the further I climb, they get louder trying to shout me down. Well, sooner or later, someone's gonna get hurt. Well, I know it's a turn, 'cause all I need is in my mother's eyes. In my mother's eyes. What it means to be me, what it means to be happy. That's what she hopes for me. That's what she gave to me. But mama, each and every time they've been trying to find a reason to doubt me. And the further I climb, they get louder trying to shout me down. Well, sooner or later, someone's gonna get hurt. Well, I know it's a turn, 'cause all I need is in my mother's eyes. In my mother's eyes. In my mother's eyes. In my mother's eyes.
doesn't. Oh, a bit of flame, bro.
Don't give it up. Hey. I'm telling you, telling you I won't give it up. No, no, no. So
This is like the Bahamas, man.
don't even try. People lie. All they do is dance between the lines. They won't change. Fake gon' change the shades till I those eyes. I can't complain, it's just the nature of these times. Don't give it up. I'm telling you, I won't give it up. No, no, no. So don't even try. Yeah. Oh, I was you trying to find a way to waste my youth. Ups and downs, round and round the world it turns on you. I can't complain, it's just the nature of these times. Don't give it up. Hey. I'm telling you, I won't give it up. No, no, no. So don't even try.
Further. Hold on. Oh, hold on.
Don't give it up. Hey. I'm telling you, I won't give it up. No, no, no.
Hey, whoa, whoa,
So
whoa.
don't even try. Don't give it up. Hey. I'm telling you, I won't give it up. No, no, no. So don't even try.
Catch, yes. Oops, speed up. Come here, please. Come on, yes, please. Yes, please. Welcome. Peter, where are you from? New Zealand. Oh, oh, what's name? Please.
What are you gonna do?
Hey, it's okay. Come on. Oh, what are you doing, please? Come on. Relax, please. Come here, please. Relax. No, better. Who's gonna do Okay. Extra for you. Relax. No problem. Well, how are you?
Won't give it up. No, no, no. So don't even try. Yeah. Oh, I was you trying to find a way to waste my youth. Ups and downs, round and round. telling you I won't give it up. No, no, no. So don't even try. People lie. All they do is dance between the lines. They won't change. Fake gold chains, shades to hide those eyes. I can't complain, it's just the nature of these times. Don't give it up. I'm telling you. Yeah. You're always on my mind, girl. Don't you know that you always? I remember when I first met you, I knew just what to do. I had to get to know you right through the darkness. You're my light. You're always on my mind. I've been waiting so long for you. I wrote this song, girl. You don't know what you've got until your world has gone. This is why our love is strong. And girl, you got me singing with some melody. You're always on my mind. This is what you do to me. Girl, you got me singing with some harmony. not afraid, afraid to say the words, even if my brother's hurt, because of what you made and what you mean to me. You have given everything, you have changed my life more than you ever know. This is why I have to show, girl, that you are everything and everything to me. Baby girl, I hope you'll say, girl, you got me singing with some melody. You're always on my mind, this is what you do to me. Girl, you got me singing with some harmony. Forever you're my queen, and baby girl, I'm your king. You're always on my mind, girl. Oh, don't you know that you're always on my mind, girl. Yeah, yo, you're always on my mind, girl. Don't you know that you're always on my mind, girl. Yeah.
Oh, 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 oh. I've been roaming around, I was looking down at all I see. Painted faces fill the places I can't reach. You know that I could use somebody, yeah. You know that I could use somebody, yeah. Someone like you and all you know and how you speak. Countless lovers under cover of the street. I know that I could use somebody, yeah. You know that I could use somebody, yeah. Someone like you, oh, oh, oh. Someone like you, oh, oh, oh. Off in the night while you live it up, I'm off to sleep, waging wars to shake the poets and the street, yeah. I hope it's gonna make you notice, hey, hey, yeah. I hope it's gonna make you notice, yeah. Someone like me, oh, oh, oh. Someone like me, oh, oh, oh. I'm ready now, 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 I'm ready now. Oh, 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 oh. Someone like you. You know that I could use somebody. You know that I could use somebody, yeah. Oh, oh. I've been roaming around, I was looking down at all I see.
Always talk about with the color of my hair. People always seem to know. Why do people even care? People always seem to think the same mistakes with me, but I don't want to be the one that causes trouble. Now, please leave me alone.
Barriers, rotate. Prepare the left. Left. Slow, march. Get it lower. Lower. Outwards, turn. Barrier. By the left. Quick. March.
Please be seated.
You're a distinguished guest, ladies and gentlemen. I'm found out of the Royal New Zealand Air Force and the New Zealand Defence Force community. We gathered together today at this time to honor and celebrate the life of Warrant Officer Lynda Suzanne Garrod. On behalf of Tua, her husband, her son Nico, stepdaughter Holly, mom June, Sisters Frances and Suzanne, and especially Lynda, thank you for being here. I am Flight Lieutenant Russell Bone, and it is my absolute honor and privilege to stand before you as the Master of Ceremonies for the celebration of Lynda's incredible life. And let me emphasize, this is a celebration. Lynda made it very clear she wanted laughter, stories, and good times today. While tissues might come in handy, I was specifically told by Lynda that everyone should prepare themselves to smile, chuckle, and perhaps even laugh out loud at the memories that will be shared today. This service will reflect the joy and warmth that Lynda brought into all of our lives. So please don't hold back your laughter or your stories, because that's exactly what she wanted. Connection, celebration, and maybe even a little cheekiness. I personally stand up here in this humbling position as the MC, maybe because of my previous role as a Padre within the Air Force, or maybe because of Lynda's role and impact within the RNZAF mentoring program, or even maybe because we worked together the last couple of years down in Sioux Block. But if I'm being honest, I think it's somewhat of a payback. While Lynda and I worked in the same building and our offices were side by side, I was that annoying coworker, always asking her to help me with something, whether it was checking my amazing American grammar, or even asking her if I could use countless stationery items not in my call center, including this lovely notebook up here. Lynda was always helping me out and making sure I was in a place to succeed, even if she gave me her warrant officer or mom eye roll most of the time. Through it all, through our camaraderie, and even our shared love for the steak, bacon, mushroom, and cheese pies from Vanilla Pie Bakery, we both knew that we were not just colleagues, but we were friends. And based on the incredible turnout here today, it's clear I wasn't the only one blessed by Lynda's friendship. So I would like for each of us to just to take a moment and look around this hangar. Look at the faces that are here. All right, take a moment, it's okay. Every face you see here is a reflection of how Lynda impacted someone's life. Everyone here knows how she had this incredible way of helping people grow, succeed, and feel valued. Thank you again on behalf of the family for being here and returning the love to Lynda. Through our time together today, celebrating our friend Lynda, you're going to hear stories from every part of her life. Her childhood, her Air New Zealand days, her time in the Air Force, and her adventures traveling the world. These stories will show the same thing. Lynda had a gift of impacting people's lives and making them better, no matter where she was or who she was with. However, before we really kick off the celebration, and like any good Air Force gathering, we need to take a moment and walk everyone through a little health and safety brief. As Lynda knew, I am not the expert in this field, so I'm going to ask some of the professionals to come up and help us out.
Ahi ahi Māori e koutou mā, nau mai whakauta mai ko te tauarangi tō rerenga. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, aboard this Royal New Zealand Air Force VIP flight. Whilst on board, you are required to comply with all crew instructions and passenger signs. You've been provided with a program for the celebration of Warrant Officer Garrod's life. Please study it, noting the order of service. Your crew are now indicating emergency exits. Please note, your nearest exit may be behind you. In the event of an evacuation, please leave everything behind and follow a crew member to the assembly point in the car park. No oxygen mask will drop from an overhead compartment, and if you find a life vest, please don't take it with you. Toilets are located to the left and right of the hangar. Parents should accompany small children, and baby change facilities are not available. Smoking and the use of e-cigarettes is not permitted anywhere within the hangar. The toilets and hangar have been fitted with smoke detectors. Electronic devices must be switched off for takeoff and may only be switched on again when departing the hangar. Unfortunately, we will not be serving you an in-flight meal of chicken or beef. However, afternoon tea and light refreshments will be provided in the Warrant Officer and Senior NCO's mess following this service. In preparation for takeoff, please ensure your baggage is stowed under the seat in front of you. Your seatbelts are not firmly fastened. Your tray tables are not stowed. Window shades don't have to be up, but your armrest is lowered and your seat back is returned to the full upright position. Ngā mihi rā, kia pai, tō rerenga. Thank you and enjoy your flight.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for supplying that safety brief. As you will notice, snacks are being provided by your flight crew. And do note that I'm going to need some of those lollies later on, so please don't eat them all at once. So in true Lynda fashion, she let me know that as MC, it is my job, in my job description, to make sure everyone is on the same page of how today's celebration will unfold. First, we will hear from Group Captain Mike Cannon, Base Commander of RNZF Base Auckland, followed by Angela Matthews, who has been a close friend since childhood. Next, Carrie and Finola will come and share school stories, followed by Sue Conley, who was Lynda's bestie from R1 Bar 89 recruit course. Wing Commander Kaylee Martin and the flight stewards will be sharing stories, with Romana sharing stories from Lynda's time at Air New Zealand. Next, we will hear from Squadron Leader Andy Armstrong, who will share from 8 and hopefully let us know what that really means. This will be followed by Frances, Lynda's sister, and then Tua. If any of you who are coming up to speak forget your order, don't worry, I'll try and remind you. After Tua shares, there will be a video tribute on the screens of Lynda's remarkable and beautiful life. And again, as a reminder, if in the middle of these stories and all the sharing, you feel yourself needing a break or energy pickup, remember you have your jet planes and milkshakes in front of you. And now I'd like to ask Group Captain Mike Cannon, Base Commander, RNZF Base Auckland, to come and share Lynda's service record. Sir.
Warrant Officer Lynda Suzanne Garrod, Echo 93453, Flight Steward. Warrant Officer Garrod enlisted in the RNZAF on the 10th of January 1989 as a chef UT and posted to RNZAF Base Auckland. In 1990, as an AC, she was nominated for the Cliff Manning Award. She was subsequently awarded a City and Guilds of London certificate in cooking for the catering industry post-senior course. LAC Garrod applied for duties as a flight steward in 1992, graduating from 94 Bar 1 Combined Airman Aircrew course, along with this Base Commander Ahakia, amongst others. Before completing 94 Bar 3 Boeing 727 conversion course and being promoted to temporary sergeant with effect 10th of April 1994. In February 1996, she completed a flight steward conversion to the Andover aircraft. Warrant Officer Garrod left the RNZAF in 1996 and flew as a flight attendant with Air New Zealand. During this period, she converted to the RNZAF Boeing 757 and flew as a reservist, which she referred to as her charity work due to the pay difference. Warrant Officer Garrod re-enlisted on the 10th of May 2010. Since then, Warrant Officer Garrod has been employed as the Flight Steward Training NCO at Number 40 Squadron, Flight Facilitation 1 in the Auckland A3, Staff Officer 1 in the AE project, Staff Officer Audit 2 in DEAO, Flight Steward Leader at Number 40 Squadron, and the RNZAF Selection Support Officer in DCM. She was promoted to Flight Sergeant in October 2013 and Warrant Officer in September 2020. In her flying career, Warrant Officer Garrod flew 3,482.8 hours on the Boeing 727, 757 and Andover aircraft. Additionally, she completed approximately 10,000 hours with Air New Zealand. She attained A category qualified aircrew instructor and became a flight steward categorisation officer. Her last flight was on 17th of February 2023 in support of Op Wisteria for the Princess Royal. This was particularly fitting as VIP was her absolute favourite tasking. Warrant Officer Garrod was awarded the New Zealand Defence Service Medal with effect 10th of January 1992, the RNZAF Long Service and Good Conduct Medal with effect 4th of June 2015, and the first class to the Long Service and Good Conduct Award with effect 6th of June 2022. Warrant Officer Garrod.
Thank you, sir. Now I ask Angela Matthews to come and share.
Hi everyone, I have my sister here for support. I've never spoken publicly before, though when I was asked if I would share some memories today, as difficult as it's going to be, I'm doing this for Lynda. The year of 1971, Lynda and I were in the Woku Hospital at the same time, waiting to enter the world. We grew up in a very small farming community called Akaka. We lived across the road from each other, and Lynda became my first ever friend, starting Akaka Primary School together. I've chosen a few favourite memories to share with you from our childhood. We spent hours playing, exploring, making things, and probably getting up to mischief at times. We loved to go eeling in the local drains. We would come back with a couple of eels in the bucket, which we would then leave on the back of their porch for the night, and then tip them back in the drain the next day. We would brew our own ginger beer and had a few bottles on the go, so that next time I visited, it was time to drink them. Wasn't alcoholic, of course. Lynda, Frances, my sister Julianne, and I would pick the camellia flowers off June and Arthur's trees, boil them in pots, and then bottle them to make perfume. It did have a nice smell for memory. The birthday parties at Lynda's house were always fun. June sure had the best party food. We loved to camp up the back of the Garrod's farm and had the best time sliding down the hill on the palm fronds. Lynda loved her horses. She even tried to teach me how to ride, but I never did get the hang of it. The other night at home, I was looking through some old school books and found an entry from when I was around 11 years old, which read, "In the weekend, I went over to Lynda's place. When we were there, I rode her horse and we led her calf. It was called Queenie. I stayed for tea and then went home." One of my best memories was with Lynda, Francis and my sister Julianne, where we would break out their old record player that looked like a suitcase, place it at one end of their huge hallway, and on would go our marching song, Snoopy's Christmas. There were the four of us marching back and forth, over and over again. Sorry about that, June. I think all that marching practice must have rubbed off on Lynda as she went on to join the Air Force and marched proudly for her country. Later, we moved away from the farm, though Lynda and I never lost contact. Our families have always had an ongoing connection. I will always be grateful for the time we spent together when I visited you in hospital at Christmas. Though you were not feeling your best, I am so glad we were able to share that time together. To Tua, Holly, Nikau, June, Francis and families, my heart goes out to you. Lynda was an awesome friend, the best friend I could have. You will be forever in my heart. I will miss you dearly. I thank you for your service.
Thank you, Angela. Now I ask Carrie and Finola to come and share stories about Lynda and their time together in college.
Kia ora whānau. My name is Kerry. Fiona. We've got Claire, Angie, Tammy, Gillian and Rachel. At college we were Lynda's main friend group. But as well as us, Lynda had a much larger group of mates at college because she was fun, she was energetic, she had an infectious laugh, and she was easily liked. I'd like to share some memories of Lynda with you, or some of my memories, and other memories are ones that we've put together as a group. But asking a bunch of 50-year-old women to remember stuff is quite the challenge. After that, I'll hand over to Fiona. She's got some more memories as well. Lynda and I first met at Woka Kindergarten half a century ago. And it was at my house as a preschooler that I think Lynda learnt that sisters were maybe a bit nicer than brothers, as my brother and his friend one day tortured her by threatening to flush a treasured teddy down the toilet, leaving Lynda in floods of tears. That did not put her off boys forever though. Lynda was a rural kid, and after kindy we went off to different junior schools. We met up again at Waiuku College, where I was lucky enough to become part of her group of friends, these ladies here. I know Lynda had her moments of teenage insecurity and angst, we all did, but mostly she seemed to have an effortless sense of confidence and seemed to know just who she was and how to be in the world. She was energetic, she was lively, and she had a great sense of humour. She often acted the clown, and I've memories of her doing cartwheels on the grass or running along and jumping in the air clicking her heels together. It always amazed me that legs that skinny could jump like that. She loved music and going on the Woku concert bus to Billy Idol's Rebel Yell tour at Mount Smart's Big Top when we were 14 was a really exciting adventure for the both of us. The dance exponents were a particular favourite of hers, and her crush on the lead singer Jordan Luck was only rivalled by the strength of her crush on an older local boy, Brandon Joel. We both had horses and went to pony club, spent many hours riding together. Lynda taught me how to ride the farm motorbike one day when we were home alone at her house. I'm pretty sure we weren't supposed to be hooning around the paddock on the bike, and I'm sorry if this is news to you, June. I fell off and slid across the recently cut hay stalks, removed a fair amount of my skin. We had to tell everyone that my horse had thrown me so that we wouldn't get in trouble with Lynda's parents. So many of our memories of Lynda revolve around boys and cars. Lynda was the first one of us to have her licence and the first one of us to own a car. There's a little Mori minor that she had. And often the front seat passenger had to change gears while she drove. Her long-term boyfriend at college was Colin, and she made him work pretty hard to win her affections. But once he did, they were soon joined at the hip. We were always really well fed when visiting Lynda's house, and she would make birthday cakes for friends' birthdays. She knew she wanted to be a chef, and she worked towards that throughout college. She would hand food that she'd made out of the home economics class window so that us and the boys, I think mostly the boys, could enjoy the products of her hard work. Joining the Air Force was the next step towards achieving her dream of being a chef, and that's where she went straight from school. My parents and Lynda's parents remained friends, and in 2020 my father and Lynda's father passed away within a week of each other. Lynda and I reckon that wherever it is that we go when we die, those two stubborn old men would be sitting together, a wine for Arthur and a rum and coke for Dad, and they'd be sharing yarns and laughs. So I'm not sure what Lynda's drink of choice is these days, but I'm hoping that she's found the pair of them and is cooking them a decent meal. So I'll hand over to Fiona now for some more school time memories.
Hi everybody. As Kerry said, quite a few of us met Lynda in Miss Davies' third form class at Waiuku College. It's a pretty small school from today's standards, about 600 or 700 kids at that time. Poor Miss Davie wasn't much older than us. I think it might have been her first teaching job, and I suspect we might not have been the easiest class. Lynda came from one of the small primary schools, but her open smile and easygoing nature made everyone feel welcome, and she quickly became part of our friend group. You might be looking at the photos, please don't judge us. That hair and fashion was actually quite fashionable in the 80s. And you'll see on the back of your programs too, Lynda had a pretty spectacular mullet, as it comes up on the screen, for quite some time. Amongst other things, we called her Lucky Legs because her legs were so skinny, she was lucky they hadn't snapped off. Lynda could be cheeky, but I don't remember her doing anything too naughty at school, but there may have been a smoking incident with Francis might be able to tell you more about later. You can always ask. I feel like there might have been something happen under the influence of older sister. We shared some cool school experiences. We did outdoor pursuits camps and a big tramp in the Coromandel. I think neither of them would have met today's health and safety standards, but hey, we survived at that point. I've got fond memories of lunchtimes messing around, talking rubbish in our favourite spot by C Block. You'll see some photos there. Spending ages on the landline, after spending all day at school together. Driving around in the Mori, my memory is that we had to start in the second gear because first gear didn't actually move the car forward. Hanging out at the beach, going to parties, drinking delicious things like Miami wine coolers, and just generally doing what teenagers do, hanging out together. We'll always cherish these memories and the laughter and fun we shared. Aroha nui, dear friend.
Thank you, ladies. I'd like to ask Sue Conley to come and share about how Lynda was as a young recruit on R1 Bar 89. Sue.
I had to bring a support person up here today as well. This is Lynda, and here come all some of my colleagues from R189 as well, which I'm representing today. So these are some of my recruit course buddies. Here they come. It's great to see such a big turnout, and I actually know lots of them are watching online, and send big hugs. Megan might have to hold my hand, but I stand here today on behalf of our recruit course, 1 Bar 89, and we joined the Air Force on the 10th of January 1989. Among the group was someone that was really unforgettable, made an unforgettable impression on many of us, Lynda Suzanne Garrod, a really cool chick from Waiuku. Although Megan and I had a bit of a laugh because we said, we don't even know where Waiuku is. So anyway, she made an impression on us. She had the big hair, the big curly hair, and she is an incredible friend to us. But like many people here today, our recruit course wasn't just a group of people who met on a course. We made lifelong friends. The bonds formed during the early days really stood the test of time, no matter where life took us. And today we come here to celebrate and honour the incredible friend Lynda was to us. So when we first met, Lynda had this cheeky smile, the spirit of adventure, and a determination that was impossible to ignore. It didn't take long to realise that Lynda was someone who knew what she wanted to do. When the recruiters suggested to her she needed to be a steward, Lynda was having none of that. She wanted to be a chef. Sure enough, with her characteristic determination, she convinced them to change her mind. Lynda was always true to herself, and that's what made her so special. Lynda and I became fast friends on recruit course. We were on B flight and our bed spaces were next to one another, and Megan was across from us. Our dorm corporal was Jodie Boyd, who's here today, and she used to call us chicks, and that was her term of endearment. And to this day, whenever Lynda and I saw each other or wrote to each other or text, it was always, "Hey, chick." And that's a term of endearment that stuck through the years and became our standard greeting to one another. Oh shit, that's some bad hairdos, right? But recruit course didn't really faze Lynda, and she just got on with it. And Megan and I both remember one morning, and it was time for our usual inspection. And as always, we're standing to attention. And Jodie comes in and she gets to Lynda's bed space. And we had one shelf, and you were allowed one photo that could be framed, and it had to be a certain size. And Jodie walks up and goes, "Who's this, Garrod?" And Lynda, without skipping a beat, said, "My boyfriend, Corporal." Jodie raises an eyebrow and said to Lynda, "Do you like him, Garrod?" And Lynda responded quickly, "Yes, Corporal." And Jodie replied, "Well, you could at least dust him, Garrod." And it was just one of those classic moments where there's humour, and we were all trying not to laugh. And Lynda's boyfriend got referred to as Dusty from then on. I remember another little adventure at Dip Flat. Lynda and I we were probably each other's shadows, but we were on early morning fire picket, and you had to go around and you had to light the immersion heaters to heat the hot water. So it's like early in the morning, everyone else is in bed, we're wandering around trying to light these things. And we were having a few problems and it just wouldn't light. And so we just kept dripping the light fluid into it, and it just kept doing it. And so, there's not much happening. And finally we got it to ignite, and boy, did it ignite. It was like a little rocket. This 44-gallon drum just lifted off the ground, went boom. Me and Lynda go, "Quick, get out of here before someone comes." So there was always a sense of mischief and up for a bit of fun. But one of the highlights on our recruit course was always catching the bus into Blenheim, have a bit of a shop, get our photos developed, capture those really bad haircuts, and have pizza. And it's funny how those simple moments meant so much to us, and it's funny how those little things stick in your mind. After recruit course, we all went off to trade training, and we all followed our own separate paths. But over the years, Lynda and I, we've flattered together. We've backpacked through Thailand for a month with Fran. Lynda convinced me to have surfing lessons in Noosa one holiday. We went back for a second one because the instructor was really hot, but probably shouldn't have. But unfortunately he wasn't there the second day. We were just a bit disappointed in that. But we had many other adventures that Lynda generally talked me into. But fast forward 35 years, and there was talk of a 1/89 recruit course reunion. And I rang Lynda and said, I'll go if you go. And Lynda said, yep, I'm going. So I was like, okay. So I thought, yep, booked my ticket, sent Lynda the details, and we met in Wellington on the way to Blenheim. And the minute I saw her, there's a big smile, a big hug, and it's, hey, chick, and off we went. And just like that, the weekend began. And it turned out to be one of the best weekends ever. It was incredible to reconnect with everyone, reminisce about the old days, and catch up with people that we hadn't seen in decades, but it felt like no time had passed. We toured base, and it was great to see Lynda as the warrant officer. But of course, the weekend wasn't just about reminiscing, it was about making new memories too. Friday night was a blast. The espresso martinis started flowing pretty early, and then the DJ arrived. And I learned something new about Lynda. She was a huge Exponents fan, and I never knew that. She knew all the words to every song, and she was up singing and dragging us out to dance. I think the locals thought we were crazy. The next day there was a tour of a marker, and Lynda and I and Megan, we weren't that interested in going looking at aircraft. So we decided we were going on a wine tour. That was our idea. We were going to go for a wine tour on the e-bikes. So off we went. And Lynda's my perfect wine tasting partner. She doesn't like Sauvignon Blanc. I don't like Chardonnay. So we'd get in there, order what we wanted, swap them around, and away we go. We had such a blast that day. Probably the bit that did us in was the gin tasting at the end. I have to admit, Navy gin is really not my favourite. And for a couple of us here, we had to have a little sleep afterwards before the next function. So we had plenty of fun. The weekend was surrounded by old friends and filled with laughter and was perfect, just like Lynda. Full of life, full of spirit, and full of memories that we'll carry with us forever. Lynda, you're like no other friend. Your determination, your laughter, your adventurous spirit, you made us all better for knowing you. And I know now that wherever you are now, you're with your dad. You're still making people smile and inspiring others just to say yes, as you always did. Rest in peace, Lynda. We'll miss you, but we'll never forget you.
Thank you, Sue. And thank you to all the older gentlemen that supported you as well. As we continue in our celebration, I'm going to ask Wing Commander Kaylee Martin to come up, and any flight stewards that would like to join her in sharing stories about Lynda. Ma'am.
No crying, ladies and blokes. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Lynda and Tua were keen to have some representation from the flight steward family to share some memories of our time with Lynda. So a few of us are going to speak. Don't worry, you're not going to be here till 8. We're not all having a word, so a few of us are going to tell a few stories on behalf of everybody. And I'm first. Angela, great speech for someone who hasn't done any public speaking. I have done public speaking and I don't very often get given a microphone. I'm not really very trustworthy in that regard. So I'm going to be talking with just some bullet points as prompts and hopefully I don't go off piece and start swearing. So to start with, I would say there's one thing I'm particularly going to miss about Lynda, and it's the special tone that I especially heard quite often. It's a slightly raised voice, tinged with outrage or indignation, followed by a little laugh. And I'll now regale you a few instances of where I heard it, but these were just the tip of the iceberg. So we heard that Lynda was referred to as Lucky Legs by her school friends, and that theme did follow through. So the flight stewards were a bit nicer, and it was Lindy Lou was one of the main things that names that we referred to Lynda as. But some of our flight deck were a little less PC back in the day, all different now, obviously. And she was called Mini Max, and that was short for Mini Sticks, Maxi, what? And I was Maxi Min. And a little story along that theme is that Lynda and I decided we wanted to get some boots. And we were in Rome, sorry, Dad. And we thought we'd go and try on some boots and stuff. And after 3 shops and some very tense shop assistants, we gave up because they were using the shoehorn that you use to put the heels of your feet into shoes to try and get my calves into the boots. And Lynda was slopping around the shop looking like she was wearing gumboots. And so after about the 3rd shop, I said, yeah, I've had enough of this, or words to that effect. And Lynda agreed with that slightly aggrieved, pitchy voice saying, let's go and have a drink. I'm not going to buy any boots. And so that was our Mini Sticks story. Whilst we're on the theme of clothing, Lynda was the fashion queen. And when I was rooming, so when we did VIP flights, we quite often got invited to go to the high coms or embassies to have cocktails and, canapes, or as the aircrew called it, free piss and food. And so we'd go to those and we had to dress accordingly. So we didn't go in uniform, we went in civvies, which was lucky because we were like vultures, quite frankly. And I remember rooming with Lynda and getting ready, and she went, with that voice, what are you wearing? You're not wearing that. And I went, well, that's what I've got. And she went, no, that's not happening. So she got out of her suitcase a dress for me. And, it was a little bit short, but I did get about an extra 3 inches because there was less to go over at the top. And so after that, when I flew with Lynda, I knew that I didn't really have to worry about being dressed appropriately because she just packed extra stuff for me. However, there was one occasion when we were in Darwin, we were getting ready to go out, and I went, what am I wearing? And she went, I'm not dressing you to go to dinner in Darwin. So it had its limitations. But everyone knows Lynda well here, and she was a very prepared person. And there wasn't much that wasn't planned or done properly. And that goes for paddleboarding. So I got myself a paddleboard and I learnt to do that in the surf. And then I found out that Lynda had a paddleboard. And I also found out that she'd had lessons, which I thought was pretty funny because it's pretty basic. And, you know, Lynda spent $300 on a lesson. Oh, not $300. Yeah, it's my story. So she spent some money on lessons, and so I thought I'm going to get in on this gig, and I need to know how to do flat water paddleboarding. And so I said, can you come and give me some tips and tricks? So out we went, and we did some flat water paddleboarding, and we had a few adventures with Tua as well on the flat water. And then I thought, right, you need to step up and start getting into some surf. So I'm not sure what she learned on those surf lessons. I'm thinking she wasn't focused on the surf lessons by the sound of it, because quite frankly, she was crap. I took her out to Muriwai, and we had a little bit of a tutu in the surf, and I got some very loud, pitchy comments of, "You've nearly broke my ankle. This is shallow, and I'm not doing this again." And she never did surf paddleboarding again and blamed me for her ineptitude. But she still was the master of flat water because she got lessons. Her trait for planning also meant that she was exemplary in all things VIP, and she was renowned as the VIP queen by the flight stewards. And I was one of Lynda's instructors for VIP flying, and she taught me everything I know. And so I guess one lesson that I learnt from Lynda was when she was a UT and we had a flight, and it was a trade mission flight around the Pacific where we took a lot of old businessmen around the islands and they touted their wares basically. And we were in Raro or somewhere like that, and I was standing with Lynda at the top of the air stairs on the 727, and the passengers were getting off, and this big fat businessman was leaving, and as he went out the stairs, he goes, see you on the beach in your bikini, loves. And I was like looking at Lynda, and as he went down, I went, not if we see you first. And then I nearly joined him because she just about pushed me down the stairs. And I got the pitchy voice, you can't say that. And that was my first lesson, and I've never done anything like that since. Lynda's talents weren't just VIP, and we've already heard about her fantastic chefing abilities. And I do remember the excitement when she got her big red chef mate. And that was a cake mixer, by the way. And she was very excited about that. And I thought that was a funny thing to get excited about, but she really was. And my example of her prowess in the cooking department was, you know how you see a magazine and it has these pictures of food and it looks really awesome, and you think, I'm going to have a crack at that because that looks good. So I saw these strawberry centres, and they were like little centre men made out of strawberries with a bit of whipped cream and stuff. So I had a crack at that. And let's just say they didn't look like centres. And then I went to a little gathering at Lynda's a couple of weeks later, and what was there a big tray of? Strawberry centres, and they were perfect. And I was so mad because that is not what mine looked like. And that was just a little thing, you know, she can cook something from a magazine and it actually looks like what it was meant to, which is usually not the case. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was Lynda's another talent that a lot of people may or may not know about, and she was a fantastic photographer. And when she left at one stage, she did a photography course, and she actually won a competition that had thousands of entries. Hundreds of entries. And, you know, which was pretty phenomenal when you know how many people have an interest in photography, and, you know, she'd accomplished something like that, and I think you've got those, up. So pretty amazing, and you see all her photos, even just her snappies are always pretty well thought out and amazing. So that was another great talent of Lynda's. So I'm going to give someone else a chance to speak now. And finally, I do apologise for getting my tenses mixed up during my stories. But to be honest, it's kind of hard for me to consider that she has actually left us. But in summary, and on behalf of all the flight stewards, I'd just like to say farewell to our fantastic, classy, clever, talented, professional, and yes, to a beautiful friend.
So this is a little bit off the cuff too. Tua did ask if anyone had some great little stories about Lynda. And sorry, I should introduce myself. I'm Willa. I was lucky to fly with Lynda for many years, and she was my warrant officer before I moved off to do some ground jobs. There's one trip in particular I'd like to talk about. However, there is this thing, and a lot of people in this room know the phrase Chatham House rules. So I've got to be careful about how I actually phrase this one. However, there's some people in this room, we all know who you were. The trip was the party bus, the Raro party bus trip. Some of the photos have already flashed up. I see there's a bunch of us in some nice little Rarotongan sarongs that we all dropped off into a store. So the best way I can describe this trip is, first of all, it was one of Lynda's favourites. It was a VIP. It was around the islands, taking the Prime Minister to do all of his dignitary meetings as such. And I believe they make the fatal error of letting the aircrew have a couple of days off in Rarotonga. And I liken it to The Hangover, where you kind of have to wake up the next day and be like, what actually happened? And then everyone can regale their stories. But the best sort of night had, because none of it was planned. None of it was planned. The girls all decided to head off for the day. We had some scooters. We happened to stop into a tourist shop that had a bunch of sarongs. So next thing you know, the ladies whipped us all up in these sarongs, and we're all thinking, oh, we look Gucci, we look fancy. And then little by little, the night just progressed better and better. I don't know if she's in the room, but Carol Voscher, when we arrived at the hotel, the staff were very apologetic. They said, hey, we're very sorry, Mrs. Voscher. We've had to give you this room. And she's like, oh my gosh, they're going to put me in like the crappiest room at the back of the hotel. No, she got the honeymoon suite. So Carol's room essentially became the party room. Carol had her own pool, her own outdoor shower, a big massive bed, all of this stuff. And we're like, sorry, Carol, but the party's at your place. So prior to moving to Carol's room, there were the hotel itself, and again, they set us up. There's a family side, and then there's an adults only side. We all got put on the adults only side, where the staff actually put on drinks for the night. So the girls will show up in their sarongs thinking we look lovely, started with free drinks, end up in Carol's room. That's when the men all got jealous that the women are in these fancy little sarongs. So next thing, Carol loses all of her bed sheets, and everyone ties essentially a sheet around themselves. And earlier that night, we'd ordered a party bus. So we're in Rarotonga thinking, okay, a party bus, surely it's going to be a bus. Nah, it's not a bus. It's a flat deck truck with a boombox and lights around it. So again, like the night just goes on. And so here we are thinking, okay, everyone get on the bus. So we're all holding on for dear life, going around Rarotonga. The first stop, we're like, surely it's going to be a bar. It's not a bar. It's a golf putting place, but it's turned into a nightclub. And that's how the night started. And like I said, I probably shouldn't divest how the rest of the night went, but it was an absolutely crazy night. And it's one of those memories that sticks in my mind. I know it's stuck in Lynda's mind because we talk about it all the time. It's an iconic one. There's more. I'm sure there's more, many, many more behind me here, but I'm just going to leave it at that, and I'll let Nat speak.
Kia ora everyone, I'm Nat and I met Lynda around 15 years ago when she re-enlisted as a flight steward, and I've been lucky enough to call her my friend ever since. I've loved having you on Squadron, Lynda. You represented your trade with pride. With your background as an RNZAF chef and Air New Zealand cabin crew, you brought a new era of VIP flying when you arrived. If you've ever been lucky enough to enjoy a dining experience by Lynda, you don't need me to tell you how impressive her creative flair for food and service is. It was a highlight of VIP flying having Lynda create the menus and work in the galley, and the whole crew would always be hoping for leftovers and hanging out to clean up at the end of the day. Lynda, we've always connected over our love of food. I remember on a trip to Japan, we were exploring the underground restaurants and ordering random dishes from pictures on their menus. At one meal, a really large steak arrived. You noted the texture and taste were a little different as you were eating it, but you couldn't quite put your finger on it. So after finishing the steak, we employed Google Translate, which revealed that in fact you'd just eaten a huge slab of horse. Your face was priceless, and needless to say, you weren't keen on trying any more local dishes on that trip. You've always been an excellent travel buddy though, and I met my match when you were always up for an adventure or two. One trip, we'd just arrived in Santiago, Chile, and there was some unrest in the city with student protests. The crew had been told not to venture too far from the hotel, but it's not every day the Boeing goes to South America, so we decided to set off on some sightseeing anyway. Imagine our surprise when we emerged from the subway, smack bang in the middle of a huge protest with thousands of students and the Santiago police using tear gas, water cannons and dogs against them. As a stickler for the rules and someone who prides himself on leading by example, I could tell you were really torn about taking the sensible approach and heading back to the hotel or continuing the sightseeing. And, well, as I said, it's not every day the Boeing goes to South America. So sightseeing won that day, and bonus points that no one from the crew got arrested in the chaos. And it's not the only memory we've made involving a subway. After a day exploring Washington, DC and Arlington, we entered the Pentagon subway station. The threat of ISIS in the US was prominent at the time, and our spidey senses had been tingling all day. So when our train arrived on the platform and released an incredibly loud pressure valve, we both got the fright of our lives. Now, as professional aircrew trained to remain calm in an emergency, one can rely on a measured response to the situation. But on that day, that was definitely not us. One shared look confirmed we both thought we were in the middle of a terrorist attack. We panicked, we jumped the turnstiles and tried to leg it up the down escalator. It's not the most efficient method of escape, by the way, but when we eventually got out in the open, both completely out of puff, we were able to have a little chuckle. And just to be safe, we got a taxi back to the hotel that day instead. I could honestly talk about our adventures forever, Lynda. We've got John Key to thank for a lot of them, as many occurred on VIP trips tasked by the Prime Minister's office. Rosie reminded me of a flight we did when John Key asked you for a Heineken. You'd run out up the front, so you came down the back to restock, but Rosie and I had dished them all out to the media and left you to explain to the Prime Minister why all his beers were gone. I believe he took it well, but it was a little longer for Rosie and I to get back in your good books. Speaking of John Key, we reached out to him a few days ago, and in true John Key fashion, he sent a message. It reads, Rona and I were devastated to hear that Lynda had recently passed away. We remember Lynda for her enthusiastic service and unfailing dedication to her job and her team, but most of all for her contagious sense of humour and a love of a good laugh, much of which came at my expense, I might add. Our family spent many hours travelling together around the world with Lynda, where she and all of the members of 40 Squadron conducted themselves with dedication and professionalism as they honoured the long traditions of the fine Royal New Zealand Air Force that they were delighted to serve. To her family, her friends and her colleagues, we pass our love and condolences as they come to terms with the loss of someone so precious. John Key, former PM. So Garrod, there you go. Thank you for everything you gave to our trade and to the Squadron. Your leadership, Mentorship and above all your friendship are your legacy. To the four winds, Lindy Lou, ki ngā hau e wha.
Thank you, ladies, and a couple of gentlemen. Right now, I'm going to ask Romana to come up and share about Lynda's time at Air New Zealand. And as she comes up, I'm just going to make sure we're all doing okay. And if we need to crack into those lollies, you haven't already. And if there's any purple jet planes available, can you please hold them up because I'm going to come get them. Okay, I guess we're out. Come on.
We'd just like to invite anyone else from Air New Zealand if they'd like to come up as well. Please do so.
I know I've seen some of you. Please come up. Oh, fella. I've seen you. Kia ora koutou, talofa lava, ulavanaka, malola le. Warm greetings to you all. Sorry, after all those speeches, I'm really nervous. My name is Romana, and I'm a long-time friend and ex-colleague of Lynda's. And it's an absolute honour to stand here today and pay tribute to our dear friend and colleague. While we're gathered here in sadness, I'd like to focus on the laughter, the memories, and the all-round amazing person Lynda was. I first met Lynda on the 7th of October, 1996. It's a date I'll never forget because it marked the start of a 6-week in-flight and emergency procedures training that was intense as it was unforgettable. We were a small group of 9. Of them. All women, which was quite unusual at the time, as most of the classes were around 15 and mixed. We thought of ourselves as an experiment. For what? I'm not sure. But we were also excited to start this new career. From day one, Lynda and I hit it off, and we quickly became fast friends. She had this way of making you feel at ease, even when everything around you was chaos. Being the youngest in our class, Lynda helped to get me through training school and kept me on track. She was a stickler for time, and an example of this being one time when myself, my husband Heath, and our colleague and friend Ben Moores headed away on a snowboarding trip to Lake Tahoe. Lynda would always be the first down with her gear, at the car ready and waiting to go. Heath would be next, and Ben and I would always be lagging behind. Lynda would, of course, be fuming by this stage and be like, "What the hell are you two doing?" All those words to some effect. And then make jokes about how slow we always were. Lynda was an extremely hard worker. Her work ethic was second to none. She was uber organised. And she was so proud to wear the koru, and she wore it well. Our friendship grew and flourished over nearly 29 years, and it's a bond I will cherish forever.
Working in the skies has a way of forging lifelong friendships. It makes you laugh until you cry, challenges you to step out of the comfort zone, and sometimes leaves you sleep deprived and sitting on galley stowages at 3 a.m. in the morning, drinking tea, eating way too much junk food, and sharing the kinds of secrets you wouldn't tell anyone else. And I have no doubt that many of the crew I see here today was lucky enough to share a moment like that with Lynda. Over the past week, I've been reflecting with many of our friends on what Lynda meant to each of us and the incredible multi-talented woman she was. She truly embodied the meaning of multi-talented. Lynda was an exceptional cook, an amazing baker, great at so many sports, and a gifted photographer. I'll never forget flying to Wellington to support her in an exhibition she was a part of, followed by a night of celebrating her success. I was so proud of her. We were also fortunate to have Lynda as our wedding photographer in Rarotonga. Tonya, who couldn't be here with us but is watching via live stream from Switzerland, described you beautifully, saying she was always loyal and supportive, thoughtful, full of light, a straight shooter, and had an incredible energy for life. And Steph, like you said yesterday, she really managed to pack a lot in her 53 years. Lynda had so many friends, as we can quite clearly see here today. Each of us connected in different ways. She just had that innate ability to bring people together and share her passions, but also take an interest in yours. It was one of her special superpowers. Within our flying group of friends, Lynda shared her love of snowboarding, skiing, and surfing with both Tonya and Steph. I know they had many great funny times together, like Lynda teaching Tonya the latest craze she was into, like paddleboarding and kiteboarding, but she never quite managed to convert Tons to snowboarding. Steph, you did an amazing trip to Greece with Lynda, and you both took beautiful photos, and that will forever document the many wonderful memories you shared. And of course, we can't forget the time you guys did a trip to Samoa. Lynda woke up in the morning accusing Mike. Where's Mike? Accused Mike of rifling through her bags in the middle of the night, only to discover all three of you had been robbed while you were asleep in your whales. Thank goodness Air New Zealand was feeling generous and placed all your allowances. With me, you tried to take me surfing. That ended up with us staying the night at the Lee Sawmill, not surfing, but drinking. You taught me how to snowboard, and I can still hear you now yelling at me to turn, and giggling hard, especially when I face planted off the chairlift. Having reflected about our connection and reading through loads of messages we shared, you pointed out that, and these were your words, you taught me the art of staying up all night. Lynda recounted how she'd come to a party at my place, how we took too long before we headed into the city, so she decided to stay back at mine. And then woke up to us arriving home at 9 a.m. in the morning. However, the next time I dragged Lynda out, I had us coming home in a taxi singing Bob Marley at the top of our lungs, coming past the Avondale markets at 8 o'clock in the morning. I like to think of that as prep work for the many all-nighter flights we used to do. Gosh, we had so many great times, so many funny stories. But like the famous saying goes, what goes on tour stays on tour. Sorry, tour. Our friendships, like so many of the friendships Lynda cultivated, was effortless. There was never any pressure or judgment. It was easy. She was a person that always checked in on you, whether it was a phone call, a text message, a coffee, a lunch, or a walk. Lynda was there for it. She was such a loyal friend, so generous with her time. Nothing was ever too much. She was the kind of friend who always showed up. Being part of the Air New Zealand whānau is something special. Once you're in, you're whānau for life. It's a camaraderie that's hard to describe but deeply felt. It connects us no matter where life takes us, whether we're still flying or not. I feel this is so evident today. I feel this is so evident today with Justine, our former New Zealand classmate and friend, being our funeral director today. Such a full circle moment, and I know Lynda would have loved that. Lynda, you meant the world to us. Your friendship, your humour and strength enriched all our lives in ways that words can't capture. To Tua, Nico, Oli, Fran and June, we are so grateful to have been part of her life and in turn yours. You're an extension of her spirit and her love, and we promise to honour her memory by checking in on you, supporting you, and keeping her incredible legacy alive in our hearts and in our actions. Lynda will always be a part of our whānau, and her light will continue to shine through you. I'd like to leave you with a poem I'd recently read, which really resonated with me and was posted up by a fellow colleague on our Koru Makian page. It's a poem by Eulogy Poetry. Instead of saying, I know what it feels like, let's say, I cannot imagine your heartbreak. Instead of saying, you're strong, you'll get through this, let's say, you'll hurt and I'll be there. Instead of saying, you look like you're doing well, let's say, how are you holding up today? Instead of saying, healing takes time, let's say, healing has no timeline. Instead of saying everything happens for a reason, let's say, this must feel so terribly senseless right now. And when there are no words to say at all, you don't need to try and find some. Love speaks in silences too. Lynda, hey chick, I think it was a term she used, also with me and us. We love you, we'll miss you. We mai rā, e hoa.
One thing I read on Lynda's Facebook page, she talked about family and that in the military you are always a family, and it is the same for New Zealand. So even when you leave, we're always family.
Thank you very much. I'd now like to call Squadron Leader Andy Armstrong to come and share stories about 8.
Thanks, Russell. G'day, folks. Got a couple of little anecdotes I'd love to share with you all today. Because if you've got a tribute sheet there in front of you, you navigated your way down the right-hand side, you'll see there's a speaking spot regarding 8. What on earth is 8? Well, 8 is a dinner group we created many moons ago. It's still together today. The group includes Lynda, Tua, and Lynda has played a vital role in the preparation of some incredible meals, wonderful memories, laughter. But what you may not know is how this group came together. Because back in the day, this was actually a group of 6. Tracy and Mike Collins, Sean Barnes, later Tom Gethin, Susie Barnes, myself and my wife Ellie Armstrong. In the beginning, the meals were modestly prepared, and I think by our own admission were not exactly gastronomy gems, but that was soon to change on the receipt of an unsolicited application for another pair who wanted to join. We had to convene to discuss this culinary conspiracy at length. There were consequences for a dinner group expanding to 8. New cutlery, extra crockery, chairs, dining room tables. But when we turned to evaluating the benefits of Tua and Lynda's inclusion, it was Lynda with her chefing credentials and capacity for Michelin menus that really had us hooked. Tua, I'll have to admit, mate, while your cooking prowess was graded as a sometimes met, it was Lynda that got the exceeded expectations rating, and the rest, mate, is now history. With the new deal struck, the dinner group rebranded to 8. What followed was a festival of cooking that would rival Gordon Ramsay, with comedic yarns that would level Billy Connolly on the floor in stitches. Predictably, Lynda set new standards. We will fondly remember the exquisite desserts, delectable beef cheeks, incredible succulent pork belly, and my personal favourite was Lynda's southern fried chicken that would easily rival anything Colonel Sanders could have dreamed up today. Together, we have built a lot more than a collection of food stains on our tablecloths. We have created the most memorable meals, heartwarming moments and fun between Whenuapai and Paris. Here's to the fearless foodies who have laughed and cried, mostly over chopping onions, and bonded over high-octane cocktails, dubious dress-ups, and, dare I say it, Cards Against Humanity. Now, there might be many in today's audience that have recognised the obvious. Houston, we have a problem. But fear not, Tua. 8 have already reconvened, but we must inform you of several points buried in the original contract. Number 1, once you have a seat at the 8 table, you always have a seat. Number 2, performance evaluation. You have been judged to have served your apprenticeship honourably, and as prodigy cook Lynda, and with effect immediately, are promoted from pot washer to head chef for Team Gatkins. From now on, may our spatulas remain sturdy, our recipes adventurous, and smoke alarms silent. By the way, there's no story there whatsoever. The 8 group continues on its epic cooking crusade as we write another chapter to that book we've been promising ourselves for years. Our thoughts now with Lynda, who will forever be remembered by 8 as someone who successfully expanded our waistlines because of her remarkable skill in the kitchen and our collective yearning for a little bit more. Now Lynda can take a back seat, supervise from a distance, and quietly guide Tua towards gourmet greatness. I was going to leave our little 8 tribute to that message and step down at this point, but there's something else I'd like to share with you actually. So this might require a little bit of steel. But there'll be people in this audience that know that the 8 group that we've had hasn't been immune to personal tragedy. We lost a very dear friend in Sean Barnes back in 2018. And as sad as that moment was, as is today, there are a few words rattling around in my head. I thought, Andy, you've got to write those down. I call it poetry, but to be quite honest, guys, it wouldn't get past year 11 English. But bear with me if you don't mind. So this little tribute for Sean back then, we circulated at an 8 event. It hasn't been beyond that circle of friends until today. But on rereading those words and chatting with a few of the 8 people here, these words are just as poignant for Lynda as they were for Sean. So I'd like to share this with you all today. It's simply titled 8. Our dinner group started one peculiar event, a gathering of many for marriage improvement. But when the workshop shifted to divine intervention, the 6 of us pondered a new kind of intention. The focus now food, drinks and good cheer, 3 couples together with recipes to share. In the years that ensued, there was much to be glad, full bellies, more stories, and laughter was had. What started as basic elementary fill soon turned to incredible culinary steel, from the Collins succulent eye fillet steak to the Armstrong's fondue and the Barnes's cheesecake. What scrumptious culinary mixes of surprises, a fanciful blend of dishes all sizes. But what started as 6 was about to expand. The partners had interest from a Riverhead clan. A decision was needed for the next dinner date. Do we bring Lynda and tour and call it an 8? There was resistance from all until in stepped the ref. Bloody oath, said Barnesy, because Lynda's a chef. And so that was it. More fun and delight, desserts, good banter, and stories all night. And while it won't be the same, because we've lost a great mate, the name stays the same forever. We're 8.
Thank you, sir. And now, Frances coming up, Lynda's sister this year.
My support person here, Kelly, who we went to kindergarten, primary, together. Hello everyone, thank you for being here to honour my sister Lynda. Your presence is a testament to the love and respect we all had for her, and I know she would be very humbled to see how many people are here today. As I stand here, it's hard to put into words the weight of this very sudden loss of my amazing little sis. There was a special bond between us that I will carry in my heart forever. And as you can see, we're very similar in both looks and mannerisms, so a little piece of her will always be inside of me. Our childhood memories of getting our calves ready for calf club, which, by the way, Lynda would always bring home dripping in ribbons, to being pulled down the steepest hill on the farm, tucked inside a Nico palm pod, dragging our poor dogs over obstacle courses on the back lawn. Riding our ponies into Pony Club will always be cherished by me, and I wouldn't have wanted to do it with anyone other than you, Lynda, at my side. As kids, we had lots of jobs to do, and one of them was to feed the calves that were to be reared and eaten by us as a family. Dad would have no shame in telling us, tonight you're eating curly, and that was just part of life for us, which was also delicious. One job we never did get used to was walking down to the share milkers and sticking our heads inside the vat to get the full cream stinky milk out in a billy can to bring home. Definitely not one of the fun jobs, and oh were we so happy when Mum finally started to buy town milk. We did a bi-yearly trip to the South Island to see family on the way in Wellington, and then over to Moana, Lake Brunner, and on to Christchurch to see more relatives. One year Moana, when we were 6 and 8, we entered into the Little Miss Lake Brunner beauty pageant. We obviously cleaned up with Lynda leading the pack, much to the disgust of the local girls. The skinny runts from South Auckland won first and second prize. My little sis was a beauty inside and out and treated everyone with so much kindness and respect. It didn't matter who they were or what walks of life they were from. In Lynda's eyes, everyone was the same and would be treated as such. Lynda was passionate about many things growing up, especially sports and horses. As she got older, her interests changed slightly and she turned into an avid surfer, snowboarder and paddleboarder. Yesterday, I found this little insert she'd written for a snowboarding magazine. I'm guessing it's a letter to the editor, which I'm not sure was sent in or even published, but I'd like to read it to you as I think it's really poignant for today's celebration of her life. This would have been written when Lynda was about 25. Hi, well, I've just finished the May issue, great mag, and realised that there are a few people out there in this big, wide world who are so passionate about sport, any sport, with snowboarding being no exception, and they put their lives on the line and sometimes lose the battle. Anyway, to get to my point, yes, there is a point, I'm in the complete opposite category. I'm a novice snowboarder. Actually, I'm not even sure I can call myself that yet, and snowboarding may have saved my life. Last year at Turoa, I had a wee crash on my second day of riding, and a guy managed to ride right over the top of me. It was my fault, but he never did stop to see if I was okay. Anyway, a couple of chest x-rays later, I was off to a cardiologist. As it turned out, I had had a heart defect since birth, which was never diagnosed. I was booked in to do my learner scuba diver course in 2 weeks, and had I not had that x-ray and gone diving, I would have been a Ben's case for sure. So thanks to snowboarding, I'm fit and well today. I've had surgery, and 3 months later, I'm now waiting for the snow to come so I can play with my new boarding kit. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who've had big milestones to get over, but I tell you, it sure kicks you into place when you realise how fragile life is. Make the most of it while you're here. They were Lynda's words. That being said, she certainly did make the most of life. She cherished every moment of every day, and she lived life to the full. Some of my fondest memories in the later years are of our fabulous camper van and caravanning trips with all the family in tow. And we will keep that tradition alive, Lynda, and you will be there with us in spirit in everywhere we visit and everything we do. As we gather to celebrate her life, I encourage everyone to remember the joy Lynda brought into our lives. Let's honour her memory by living with the same passion, kindness and love that she showed to each of us, as our Lynda would not expect anything else. I've lost my spot. We will make you proud, sis, as you did us, especially by bringing my little buddy Nico into the world and giving Nana and Grandad an amazing little grandson who was so cherished by all of us. I also gained an amazing man I can call my brother and a wonderful niece, Holly. Mum will miss you as you were a fabulous daughter to her. She was in awe of your braveness during this difficult fight you fought, and what a fight you gave. You might have been little, Lynda, but you were mighty, and we love you. Although she may no longer be with us in body, her spirit will live on in our hearts. Let us carry forward her legacy of love, laughter and compassion. I know she would want us to support one another, to find comfort in each other and to celebrate the beautiful moments we shared with her. I received these words from a friend to comfort me the other day, and I'd like to share them with you to also give you comfort. The days are long now, the sun still shines, the wind still blows, the rain still cleanses. But my heart still aches, the incomprehensible thought, the thought of you, the memory of you. So many memories are now just memories. A smile for you, a laugh for you, a happy tear for you, a heart flutter for you. How wonderful life has been with you, life. This life, a journey so far for your beautiful soul, and now to the next. I will see you then, my love. Well, everyone, that brings my speech to a close, and as I take a special moment like this to think of what I cherish, my thoughts immediately go to a certain very wonderful person. It's someone I've known all my life. I dearly love her, and I feel so close to her even when I miss her. I now so often think of one of the things I am most grateful for, and that is having you for my sister. I love you, Lynda, until I see you again.
Thank you, Francis. And now, as Tua comes and shares, this will be followed by a video tribute shared on the screens.
Kia ora, tēnā tātou katoa. There's been a lot of speeches. It's taken a lot of time, I know, team, but we're in the final leg now, and I'm going to have to finish this up quickly, or the Herc that's circling over here is going to run out of fuel, I think. Thank you all for coming here or watching this via live stream as we celebrate Lynda's life. I want to start by extending my heartfelt thanks to some truly remarkable people. To all the nurses who cared for Lynda so compassionately during her last 3 weeks. In your care, your kindness will never be forgotten. To Lynda's many friends, both far and near, who showered her with love and support, it has been utterly overwhelming in the best possible way. And to our families who have stood beside us during this train wreck that has forever changed our lives, thank you. On behalf of Lynda's family, I'd like to extend our appreciation to the New Zealand Defence Force and its wonderful people for providing a blanket of protection and care over Lynda and her family since her diagnosis of cancer on 12 November last year. For 22 of her 53-year life, Lynda volunteered to serve King and country selflessly, with no extraordinary expectations of recognition, but no words will ever be enough to express the depth of gratitude that we feel for the support and loyalty the New Zealand Defence Force has shown towards Lynda. Lynda's love language was acts of service, and she would be so proud to know the efforts that the New Zealand Defence Force went to make all of this happen. This day will forever be remembered for all the wrong reasons. But we are sincerely grateful to you for bringing the possibility of comfort and happier moments to pierce through the grief and sadness as we look back on this occasion in future years. Whether it was the Chief of Air Force sending her a handwritten Christmas card, or the base commander visiting Lynda's bedside to present her with the long service and good conduct clasp the day just before she passed, or 40 Squadron paying their respects in a way that only they can. And thank you, CO40, for meeting her wish to take her ashes on one last flight on the 757 at some point in the future. All the many individuals working to put this whole funeral service, this massive event together, we will forever be indebted to you. Lynda and I had been friends since 1989, but we became Lynda and Tua on the 9th of April 2009. That's the day we met up in Mount Maunganui after a lengthy period of just Facebook messaging each other. Lynda was seeing her sister off to the airport as she went back overseas, and she texted me to say, as I passed through Mount Maunganui, I could call in and see you. And we hadn't even talked. We'd just been texting each other. And I said, yeah, fine. And I didn't know if I was reading the room right, but I was getting a little bit of excitement and butterflies, thinking of the potential. I'm only human. And she was attractive. And I was, yeah, sure, that'd be great. And I said, I'll get some Chinese and a bottle of wine, and you can park up and have some rest before you go back home to a Hopi. And she was all keen for that. And then about an hour later, I got a phone call saying, my sister's flight is delayed, so I was expecting the call to go like, so I won't be able to make it. But she was ringing up to say, I'm going to be late. Is that okay? I still want to call in. I was like, okay. And I was getting my hopes up. And she turned up at about 10 o'clock, and I was in a hotel, and I just went out to meet her, and she got out of the car. I went to go give her a hug, and it was a little bit standoffish, a little bit cold. And I said, okay, that's cool. I did read it wrong. We're just friends. That's cool. I wasn't going in for the kill. I was just a hug. And we went back to my room, and I didn't want to overdo it, so I didn't put it on plates or anything. We were eating out of the plastic of the Chinese container and having wine. And 10 o'clock turned into 11 o'clock, and 11 o'clock turned into 12 o'clock, and 12 o'clock turned into 1 o'clock, and I was like, she's not leaving. Maybe I am reading the room right. I've been out of the game for a while. And then it was a beautiful full moon, and we went out to the balcony, had a look at the Mount Maunganui, the full moon was behind it, and she said, oh, geez, it's beautiful, isn't it? And we're standing really close to each other. I still wasn't prepared to put our friendship at jeopardy. And then nothing happened again. And she's like, should we go for a walk? And I said, oh, where? She says, up the mount. Then my risk management kicked in and I was like, a bit dangerous. And I told her all the reasons why we shouldn't go. There's not enough lighting and could be, uneven ground and all that sort of stuff. Idiot. And then I said, but they have a spa and a pool. Do you want to go for a swim? And she's like, yes. I was like, okay. Jeez, I was so confused. And she went into the bathroom, got changed, and she came out in a bikini, and I was drop dead gorgeous and beautiful. And I was like, wow. We went for a swim, and I was still staying 1 metre distance away, just not wanting to put anything into jeopardy. And I even jumped into the pool, and I was swimming lengths. And then she must have started getting pissed off, and she's like, come into here with me. And so I went into the spa pool, and then she started getting a bit closer, and I was getting nervous and backing away. And then I saw that she had a scar on her chest. And I said, oh, what's that? And she said, oh, I had open heart surgery a couple of years ago. And I was like, okay, still doing nothing. And she said, do you want to touch it? No flies on me. I knew. Hey, the penny dropped, and I moved in for our first kiss. And since that day, Lynda had my heart. Together we built a home. We've created a family. We've shared so many adventures. We went camper vanning to our favourite spots all around New Zealand, often with a mother and sister-in-law in tow. But I was pleased to find out that the Garrod package actually came without the associated stigma you might expect with such an arrangement. We truly did love holidaying with our sister and, or my sister and mother-in-law, and I hope that I'll continue to do so if they'll have me. We travelled overseas on amazing holidays. We supported each other through moments of grief as tragedy struck our families and close friends, and we celebrated immense joy, the peak of that joy being the birth of our son, Nico. He's the most precious, enduring gift that Lynda could ever give us. If you watched the video earlier, you'll see that Lynda staying pregnant wasn't easy. But through Nico, Lynda will continue to provide a constant reminder of the love that we shared, and I'll forever love Lynda for that. But it wasn't one thing that made me fall in love with Lynda. It wasn't one thing that made me fall in love with Lynda. It was supposed to. It was a combination of many things that all had to do with how she made me feel. Lynda, I didn't tell you this enough. I loved how your beautiful green eyes smiled when you were happy and content. I loved that you were adventurous and always wanted to try new things. I loved your devotion to our family. You organised us and you ran our household with an efficiency I will struggle to match. Your love language was acts of service. Words and all the gifts in the world meant little if not supported by action. And you let me know pretty quickly if my actions weren't above par. Man, but when they were, your love just shone through. You were strong and independent. You knew what you deserved and you didn't settle for anything less. And I love that. I love that being with you didn't mean sacrificing my independence or my friendships. I loved how you put up with listening to me, Tama, Grunter, Booger, Toddy, Herbie, Andy, any other PDIs telling the same exaggerated stories over and over again. And you just, when you got sick of it, you just said, I'm going to bed. I've heard this before. I love the way your arms wrapped completely around me and squeezed me tight, and how you buried your head into my chest and how that made you feel safe. I loved watching the amazing mother you were to Nico. I won't be able to do everything as well as you, babe, but I promise to try my very best to raise him as you would have. I love that you loved Holly with all your heart. You never tried to be a mum to her, but she had a special bond and she went to you for advice, and I treasured that. I love that even if you'd visited a place before that I hadn't been to, you treated it like it was your very first time because you wanted to share that experience with me for that first time. You were so thoughtful in that regard. I love that we were so in sync with what happiness in life looked like. Family first, a home that we can have as a sanctuary, and us sharing experiences and adventures together, and it was that simple. I love that you were always ready to go. You didn't need 10 minutes to put on makeup for a 2-minute trip to the grocery store. I love that. I love the farm girl in you. But I also loved the flight steward in you when you dressed up for special occasions, and your beauty never failed to catch me off guard. I used to take the mickey out of you all the time. Sorry, bub. But when I did make that rare mistake, I loved it when you jumped on it with a witty remark that made me wince laugh out loud and be really proud of your quick response at the same time. The smug joy you got from getting one over me and the way that you glowed proudly when I acknowledged your burn was weirdly so rewarding for both of us. I love that you loved me as much as I loved you. You never ever made me feel vulnerable. You made me feel safe and secure in our relationship. Although I'm not so sure after the stories. I love that you accepted me into your life. I'll always cherish the memories and happiness you gave me. I love that you shared your last breath with me. You are now inside my body, and I'll carry you with me until the day I die. I honestly don't know how I'm going to live a life without you in it. It wasn't in your plan, it wasn't in mine, but know that I will love you until the day I die, as I know you loved me until the day you did. Sweet dreams, bub.
As we transition from our wonderful stories and this beautiful tribute of Lynda's life to a moment of personal reflection for each of us, you are invited to come forward and lay a poppy on Lynda and pay your respects. Additionally, and in true Lynda fashion, she has asked that everyone who is capable, maybe who is of legal age, to share one last shot of Bailey's with her and celebrate the warmth, kindness, and values she brought each one of us. After everyone has had the chance to pay their respects, we will take a moment to honor Lynda with a haka, followed by a guard of honor down the tarmac. After that, Lynda's family has warmly requested that you join them for afternoon tea and drinks in the Woes and Snows mess to continue the celebration of Lynda's life. For those unfamiliar with the base, of course, there'll be vans provided where you can follow any military personnel. So I ask now that you take share a moment, share a drink with our friend and loved one. Poppies and drinks are on each side, so just take your time, come and pay your respects, and then we will meet on the tarmac. Come now. Thank you.
Close your eyes, let the earth take you up into the sky. Don't give it up. Hey. I'm telling you, I won't give it up. No, no, no. So don't even try. People lie. All they do is dance between the lines. They won't change. They go change the shades till I those eyes. I can't complain, it's just the nature of these times. Don't give it up. I'm telling you, I won't give it up. No, no, no. So don't even try. Yeah. Oh, I was you trying to find a way to waste my youth. Ups and downs, round and round, the world it turns on you. I can't complain, it's just the nature of these times. Don't give it up. Hey. I'm telling you, I won't give it up. No, no, no. So She was a diamond, put her on the lights to come down and put it on me. Across the scene, she burned into my atmosphere. Been on cloud nine, it's a matter of time till she gets released. Now I see she's been smoking since she landed here. I know what to say. Every time I'm with you, I wanna get it. Every time I miss, I wanna hit it. Every other day, I need it every other way. Every time I'm with you, I wanna get it. Every time I miss, I wanna hit it. How we get so. No lie, it's the hardest damn thing I've tried to leave my pieces, 'cause I don't wanna be that way. It's a sign, it's a matter of time till I get relieved. Now I see it's so crazy how this happened to be. Dollar for a dollar, nickel for a dime, I put it all on the line. 'Cause every time I'm with you, I wanna get it. Every time I miss, I wanna hit it. Every other day, I need it every other way. Every time I'm with you, I wanna get it. Every time I miss, I wanna hit it. How we get so. How we get so.
That's right, that's right.
Holding it for mum.
Double the fun.
It's pretty cruisy, and I don't think as much as I used to, but I'm probably happier than I used to. Yeah, and I take my little dog to work most days. Some days you can't.
Sorry, that means a rough spot.
57 now. I'll be 58 this year. Well, I've got a plan that we're going to get there first. That's the plan. Yeah, that's the plan.
Nothing to show for a while now. But if you throw me a rope, I might be able to cope with you down now. Wish I could float the waters up to my throat, but the cost of my friends, they're drowning now. Last time we spoke, I said I needed you most. I just need someone to be around. Oh, someone to be around. Oh, someone to be around, yeah. When my legs start to shiver, my soul starts to quiver, I think of the last time you spoke to me. You said everything has a meaning. Oh, everything happens for a reason. But when someone's alone, the words are nest wrong, and I just long for someone to be around. Oh, someone to be around. Whoa, yeah. Someone to be around. Whoa, someone to be around. Whoa, yeah. So cloudy from thinking about it. I'm trying to find my peace of mind, but there's no way around it, and you just compound it by saying that I'm just a waste of time. Maybe I know this, but choose not to show it. I hope I'm able to make it out. For now I will struggle with all of my troubles, 'cause I need someone to be around. Someone to be around, to be around. Oh, someone to be around, to be around. Oh, someone to be around. Whoa, someone to be around. Whoa.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I can have your attention just one last time, please. Hopefully you've paid your respects, had your shot of Bailey's. And I'm going to ask if you can kind of move back to your seats or just back into that area a little bit, especially everybody back here, because we need the pallbearers to come and the haka will form right here. So there'll be many more times to talk to Tua and the family at the reception of the Woes and Snows Mess if you haven't had your opportunity yet. Yeah, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, may I request that you please rise where you're sitting as I call the pallbearers back up. Thank you.
forget your roots, my friend, yeah. Don't forget your family, yeah. Don't forget your roots, my friend. The ones who made you, the ones who brought you here. Don't forget your roots, my friend, yeah. Don't forget your family, yeah. Don't forget your roots, my friend, yeah. Oh, your family, yeah. Don't forget your roots, my friend. The ones who made you, the ones who brought you here. Don't forget your roots, my friend, yeah. Don't forget your family, yeah. Don't forget your roots, my friend, yeah. Oh, your family, yeah. Don't forget your roots, my friend. The ones who made you, the ones who brought you here. Don't forget your roots, my friend. Don't forget your family, yeah. Don't forget your roots, my friend, yeah. Oh, yeah. So Johnny was a good man, armed with the power of his homeland. Stays tight, ticket in his hand, never to return home again. So he lost what he knows and what all is right for a broken world and a world of lies. But the days were numbered, relationships suffered. He lost the faith of all those who matter. So don't forget your roots, my Don't forget your family, yeah. Don't forget your roots, my friend, yeah. Oh, yeah. So Johnny was a good man, armed with the power of his homeland, which lays tight, the ticket in his hand, never to return home again. So he lost what he knows and what all is right for a broken world and a world of lies. But the days were numbered, relationships suffered. He lost the faith of all those who matter. So don't forget your roots, my friend. Don't forget your family, yeah. Don't forget your roots, my friend. The ones who made you, the ones who brought you here. Don't forget your roots, my friend. Don't forget your family, yeah. Don't forget your roots, my friend, yeah. Oh, so Jessie thought that she was all that, but she was heading on the right track. Left her mates at the gate as she walked away. Oh, never to look back again. So she lost what she knows and what all is right for a brand new image in a world of lies. But the days were numbered, relationships suffered. She lost the faith of all those who matter. So don't forget your roots, my friend, yeah. Don't forget your family, yeah. Don't forget your roots, my friend.